Battery swap or charging? Which is better? The advantages of battery swapping are often mentioned, and they're described differently by different people. Now, NEO, who are the champions of battery swapping, showed 9 advantages of its battery swap system at the third NEO Power Day event, which was held on July the 20th. And they are saying that that will become the official wording from the company. So I'm just going to go through their 9 points and put the pros and cons for each one. So the following are their 9 advantages and my views. So the first one, they said, it's as fast as refueling, because they say it takes 3 minutes for a vehicle to replace the dead battery with a fully charged one. Yeah, it's probably closer to 5 from all the videos that I've seen. And they say, and this gives the owner time to listen to a song to get back onto the road with a full charge. Well, yeah, what about a bladder break? Personally, I need to stop every couple of hours for a bladder break. And that probably takes me at least 10 minutes to get out to the loo, longer if you want a lunch break or a coffee break. So this is personally where I think charging, which can take 30 minutes or 40 minutes to go from reasonably flat to reasonably full, is actually better than a battery swap. Battery swap, if you want to just get going, bang, bang, I want to do a few thousand kilometers and I want to do it in a few hours, well, yeah, okay. But most of the time, people should take at least a 10 or 15 minute break every few hours. That is the recommended time anyway. Number 2, no mileage anxiety. Battery swap stations help eliminate mileage anxiety and can give owners the confidence to go anywhere. Well, okay, NEO had got 1,564 battery swap stations in China on July the 20th, and it said it's continuing to deploy battery swap stations to cover urban areas and highway. And they're beginning to install swap stations in Europe along with Shell, I think it is. But really? Mileage anxiety or range anxiety? I disagree. I think range anxiety is a thing all new EV owners get until they get used to driving an EV. It's still a matter of planning a trip and charging or swapping, and I don't think that's going to make any difference whatsoever. 3 reasons. More comfortable than charging. So when you're charging an electric vehicle, yeah, you've got to get out, you've got to pick up the thing, which is really heavy, and plug it in and scan QR codes and work out which app you need. Whereas in contrast, NEO car owners don't need to get out of their car. They just reverse into it and it happens, and then they drive out. So what? Getting out of your car to stretch your legs and having the old proverbial bladder break, I think is all good. And you get that with charging. I will agree that with the number of apps and RFID cards, etc., that you need, that's a bit of a negative. In WA, the EV network has got credit card, so you can just walk up, tap your credit card and go. So that is going to be a lot easier, and the more chargers we get with that facility, the better. Number 4, according to NEO, is the flexibility to use different battery capacities. So NEO owners, or NEO, can choose a standard range battery for their daily use, and when they need it, a longer range battery, and it gives them that flexibility. So they can have a lower cost vehicle and put in different size batteries as and when their demand calls for it. Yeah, look, this is probably a valid point. With a non-swappable battery, like in my Model Y rear-wheel drive, it's 60 kilowatt hours, and that's it. I can't opt for 40 kilowatt hour. I can't opt for an 80 kilowatt hour if I want to do a longer drive. So, yeah, maybe. I mean, I can fill up my car to half. That's the equivalent of a 30 kilowatt hour battery, I suppose. With NEO, they start off at about a 70 kilowatt hour battery, and they're bringing in 150 kilowatt hour batteries very soon. So that may be a slight advantage for that point, I think. And while we're here, if you'd like to help me, please boop that like button. I'll just hang on a minute while you do. Yep, go on, boop it. Great, thanks very much. Number 5, lower vehicle purchase threshold. So when you purchase a Neo vehicle, you can just buy the body and rent the battery pack. So by purchasing a Neo vehicle with a leased battery, you can save up to about $18,000 US off the purchase price. Valid, but there's a big but here. You've got to rent the battery pack, so you have ongoing expenses every month, whether you need to swap a battery or not. So that is not the cheapest option. It's around $200 to $300 per month. So that $18,000 saving, you've spent it after a few years. So I don't know. It's a big but in my thinking. You've got to rent it, ongoing expenses, and I believe you've got to pay that whether you want a battery swap or not. So you might just as well go and find a swap station rather than charge at home, which is what most people do. Number 6, more frequent battery testing ensures safety. Huh? Each time the owner replaces the battery swap station will conduct a safety inspection of the vehicle's chassis and battery, thus eliminating potential safety hazards inside and out, and the battery pack, all in a timely manner. Well, hold on a moment. I disagree with this. Any good battery management system in the car, and I'm talking about Tesla at least here, should be able to do that during normal usage. In fact, that's what Tesla does. It monitors your battery and it will detect if any cells are going wonky and cut them out of the charge. So, I don't think that's a potential one. And apart from Tesla, all cars need to be serviced every 6, 12, 24 months or whatever. So they're going to get that check. You don't need to check the chassis every few days or week. It's just too much, I think. So I tend to disagree with that one. Number 7, better charging current for battery life. So Neo's batteries can be charged at low currents, which may reduce battery wear and can prolong battery life compared to the high currents used in ultra-fast charging. Yeah, look, that's probably a valid point, but how often do people use supercharging or super fast DC charging? You see, most people, it is calculated, charge at home about 90% of the time. So you're using low currents there. Homes, you can't charge usually faster than 6 or 7 kilowatts. If you've got 3-phase, you might be able to bump that up to 11 kilowatts, but you're still talking low currents. So when you're out and about and you're using DC fast charging or supercharging, the amount of damage that you could potentially do is very minimal. I know Teslas that have been supercharging for all of their 100 or 200,000 kilometers that they've done, and their battery is still very good. And that's basically down to the battery management system. So even after years of supercharging, you're not going to get very much. So look, I think maybe not on that one. Number 8, according to Neo, is more convenient battery recycling. So basically what they're saying is that the Neo's battery swap system decouples the life of the vehicle and the life of the battery, which is more conducive to battery recycling. Yeah, look, valid point. If a battery is detected as being unserviceable, it can be removed and recycled for no extra cost to the EV owner because you're just getting a different battery all the time. Whereas with a fixed battery, it can cost a fair bit to be replaced when out of warranty. So how often does this happen? Not very often at all. And yet batteries are recycled or repurposed. So I tend to disagree mostly with this one. Number 9, and the last one according to Neo, is interaction with the power grid. Battery swap stations can not only provide vehicle owners with a fully charged battery, but they're also energy storage facilities and can take advantage of lower electricity prices at night. Battery swap stations are also able to participate in grid load regulation, improving energy utilisation. Yeah, all right. But I can take advantage of cheap overnight electricity because I set my car to start charging just after 11 p.m., which is when my cheap rate kicks in, and I get it to finish charging at 4 a.m. So I've got a 5-hour window there on the rate that I have where it's cheaper. So it charges just after 11 and will stop just before 4. And I take advantage of cheap electricity. I don't know. That one is a possibility. With my Tesla, I don't have vehicle to own, load, grid. A lot of cars that are available, certainly in Australia at the moment, have got vehicle to load, but very few have got vehicle to grid. And I'm sure that that will come, and it could help stabilize the grid maybe if your car is plugged in during the day, like in the afternoon when people are coming home and they get a big boost of power and they got to start up all these peaker plants. Yeah, maybe. So what do you think? Would you prefer to rent the battery or purchase it outright? Let me know in the comments below. For me, owning the battery and having no additional monthly expenses seems to be the way to go, as the battery management system in modern day EVs is very good. I'm not looking at you, Nissan, with your Leaf. We'll forget that one, shall we? So I think that with the current BMSs, the battery will go 1,000,000 kilometers, 2,000,000 kilometers, and it's going to outlast the car, which will have fallen to pieces by then, and then the battery will be recycled or repurposed. So, my opinion, what's yours? Thanks very much for watching, and if you could please help me by clicking that like and subscribe button below, that would be really great. It costs you nothing, but it really does help me and the channel. I've also left some links in the description below. My Tesla referral, if you're looking to buy Tesla, if you'd like to use that, to Ko-fi to help keep me caffeinated. And it's going to help me recoup the cost of all the gear I got to get this YouTube channel up and running. And I'll see you all very soon.